Hey ho, Barons! I'm Claire Woodcox, Anchor 1.
And I'm Wyatt Nepper, Anchor 2 today.
Welcome back to another episode of BTV. So Wyatt, what are your plans for this weekend?
Well, we've got show choir Saturday, ISTMA, and Masked Musketeer all weekend long, so it's going to be pretty busy, but I'm really excited for it. And what about you, Claire?
I'm probably just going to catch up on some homework, see Masked Musketeer, and I have a show choir comp.
Sounds great. Now let's send it on to Claire with the first story of the day.
Thank you, Wyatt. Upcoming this weekend will be The Masked Musketeer. This is our junior-senior black box comedy, a spoof on the Three Musketeers. You won't want to miss it at the first theater show of 2026 before The Little Mermaid. Tickets are live at Curate.com, or you can buy them in person at the door. Thanks for all the support. If you have weekend plans, you can find time to make it tonight, Saturday night, or Sunday afternoon. Ask anywhere for more info, and we'd love to have you there with the constant work that's been put in to create this student-led production. With all that in mind, let's send it to Claire with the weather.
Howdy, Barons, and welcome back to weather. Today it looks like it's going to be snowy, high of 34 and a low of 5. Tomorrow it looks like it's going to be partially cloudy with a high of 18 and a low of 3. And Sunday it looks like it's going to be partially cloudy with a high of 23 and with a low of 14. And we come back on Monday with a high of 32 and a low of 17. Back to the studio, Barons.
Thanks, Claire. Last Tuesday, the DeKalb varsity girls basketball team played their first sectional game of the season at East Noble. Our Lady Barons won their game against Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger by a score of 48-41. Our top scorers were Abby Harris with 18 points and Ellington Sparkman with 14 points. DeKalb took an early lead and their defense held off a late surge from Bishop Dwenger in the last quarter. The Lady Barons go back to East Noble for another sectional game where they take on Concordia Lutheran. The game starts at 6 tonight. If you're free tonight, go cheer on the Barons as they fight off against the Cadets. Ending on a positive note, next up is third-party compliments.
Hey Barons, and welcome back to third-party compliments. Today we will be starting with a compliment for Mr. Bigelow. This is, you are so awesome at your job. Thank you, Mr. Bigelow, for being the best principal. This one is for Eli Hess. Thank you for being our soccer manager. It's a huge, special part of our soccer team, and it means a lot that you volunteered.
Thank you for those. On January 25th, rock climber Alex Arnold became the first person to climb Taiwan's Taipei 101 skyscraper without using any safety equipment. The 1,667-foot climb took the American about an hour and a half to complete. The event was live-streamed on many platforms. Arnold has made many challenging climbs in natural areas. Like in 2017, he made a free solo climb of a huge rock called El Capitan in California's Yosemite National Park. He stopped a few times to rest or wave, but kept on climbing until he reached the top. When he finally got there, after 91 minutes, he waved his arms to the people below. That's a bit too much for me. So next up is Wyatt with a new world record in history.
Thanks, Claire. The discovery of stylized handprints dating back at least 67,800 years in a limestone cave in Indonesia has broken the country's own record for the world's oldest known example of rock art. It provides direct evidence that humans have been crossing the sea intentionally for nearly 70,000 years, as man traveled from the Asian continent across Australasia to the land down under and beyond. Now, onto a little bit more history with This Day in History.
Hey Barons, welcome back to This Day in History. Today, it is February 6th, and we have so much more that we can talk about. Firstly, the Franco-American Alliance was formed, which was back in the Revolutionary War when America was fighting for its independence. We decided to have an alliance with France, and it succeeded, and we beat Britain, and we got our independence. Secondly, the Reagan Doctrine was first announced by Ronald Reagan,
Thanks for those facts. 8 years, 4 months, and 29 days. That's how long it's been since the last nuclear weapon was detonated on Earth, and it's also the longest such time span since the nuclear age began. Since that fateful day in the sands of America's Southwest in 1945, it's actually rather mind-boggling how many nuclear weapons have been donated. Dylan Spalding, a senior member of the Union of Concerned Scientists who saw fit to mark this long interdetonation period with a long blog post explained that since the Trinity test, 2,000 nuclear weapons have been detonated by 8 nations. Being that the 21st century has been largely explosive-less, that means that some of those early Cold War years have been seen over 100 nuclear test explosions in a single year. 2 did, in fact. Thanks. Now on to Wyatt with the story about sea animals.
Thanks, Claire. Scientists have discovered that 2 different kinds of sea animals, orcas and dolphins, may be working together to hunt for salmon. Orcas and dolphins are both clever, but it's unusual for 2 different kinds of animals to cooperate in this way. Researchers have often seen orcas and dolphins near each other, but they weren't sure why. But the recent studies suggest that something more complicated is going on. Though the orcas are the ones that can actually catch the salmon, Dr. Fortune was surprised to see that the dolphins were often leading the chase. And when the orcas were following the dolphins, they dove deeper than when they hunted by themselves. Such teamwork could help both the orcas and the dolphins. So we'll send it on to an interview with Mr. Staley, the new study hall teacher.
Hi, I'm Derek here with...
Mr. Staley.
All right, Mr. Staley, I hear you're new here. Are you just a teacher, or are you in any sports or anything?
So I am also one of the assistant baseball coaches here at DeKalb, so...
Okay, when can we expect baseball season to be open?
So our first, official game is, I believe, April 1st or 2nd, so... But we'll start practicing about mid-March and hopefully have a good season, so...
You do baseball call-outs yet?
Yeah, so our call-out was back in, I believe, August, and so we've been doing some off-season stuff, lifting up in the weight room, just doing what we can leading up to the season, so.
Do you have high hopes for your team?
Very much so. We kind of had a rough end of the season last year, but we returned a lot of talent, so we're hoping to make a run, but, high hopes.
And last but not least, do you have any words of wisdom or encouragement for...
In Australia, a 13-year-old boy swam for 4 hours in rough seas to save his family after strong winds swept their inflatable paddleboards out to sea. The boy was separated from his mother and 2 siblings before his canoe began to take on water. Wearing a life jacket, he started swimming against the winds towards the shore. Once ashore, he raised the alarm and a search and rescue operation was launched involving the Western Australian State Marine Police and their rescue helicopter. The teenager provided detailed descriptions of the paddleboards, and in less than an hour, his family was rescued by a boat after drifting 11 kilometers offshore in the Indian Ocean. His heroic act saved his family, who were struggling on the paddleboards in the rough waters. Thanks. Now on to Wyatt with a reminder about Mr. Ternay's chemistry class.
Thanks once again, Claire. Today is February 6th, and if you are currently in Mr. Ternay's Honors Chemistry 1 class, then here's a reminder that today is the last day to come to his class during SST or study hall to redo the polyatomic ion quiz for possibly a higher grade. And remember, the grade you get on the retake of the quiz will not negatively impact your grade and will only affect your grade if the grade you get in the retake improves your grade. So there's no risk in taking it if you want a chance to improve your grade. With that update, let's send it to our favorite segment, Joke of the Day.
Hey Barons, and welcome back to Joke of the Day.
I'm Jack Fisher, and I'm here with...
Romeo. Now, what do you got for us, Jack?
So, what is the best cereal to eat during the wintertime?
I don't know. What is the best cereal to eat during the wintertime?
Frosted Flakes.
Oh, Frosted Flakes. I get that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Back to the studio.
I'm not a big fan of Frosted Flakes. They get too soggy.
Oh, me too. I understand. So, Wyatt, are you excited for the basketball game tonight?
Yeah, I won't be able to make it because of Masked Musketeer and that throughout the weekend. And we already talked about our plans for the weekend. So we thank you all for tuning in to BTV.
Good luck to everyone this weekend at Masked Musketeer Show Choir and the basketball game tonight. Well, I've been Claire Woodcox.
I've been Wyatt Nepper.
Bye.